brothers and sisters, I would like to just read to you a list of some of the enterprises of the Nation of Islam. You know, this nation that they talk about that operates mom and pop shops. We'll show you exactly what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is truly doing. Salam Restaurant, the Muslim import stores, the Muslim fish house, the Shabazz grocery store, the Shabazz bakery and coffee shop, Temple No. 2 clothing store and office building, the new sales and office building on 78th Street, the Guarantee Bank and Trust Company, Progressive Land Developer, Good Foods Incorporated, which is meats, produce, and eggs. Chicago Lamb Packers, a national trucking system, an aviation department at Gary, Indiana, Muhammad Speaks newspaper plant, which is a cold storage and warehouse, over 200 apartment units, not to speak of the single-family dwellings that he has put his followers in. Farms in Michigan, farms in Georgia, farms in Alabama. Over 150 temples in North America, Bermuda, Jamaica, and Honduras. Over 46 Muhammad universities of Islam. In the planning stage, a 500-bed hospital, a new Islamic university, the Temple No. 2 renovations, and the new university at the Temple No. 2 on Stony Island Avenue. The Cottage Grove redevelopment plan, which runs from 78th Street to 87th Street on the east side of Chicago, east side of Cottage Grove, in the design stage. The Phoenix, Arizona development proposal, which is also in the design stage. Salam Snack Shop, your supermarket, Shabazz Barber Shop, Shabazz Restaurant, Capital Cleaners, National Clothing Factory, National Fez Factory, and again, residential homes. This is what our leader and teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is leading us to. Brothers and sisters, I know what we are all awaiting, and that is the message from our leader and teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So in closing, I would like to say just this, that the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have distributed in the hells of North America during this past year over 34 million Muhammad Speaks newspapers. As a foundation, we have Muhammad's temples in every city of America. We have temples in Bermuda, Jamaica, Honduras, and even in England. Right. Educationally, we have Muhammad universities of Islam in 46 cities. This man is truly building the foundation for a nation. Yes, sir. In transportation, we have a fleet of cross-country tractor trailers, the most modern. We have a fixed base operation, aviation department in Gary, Indiana. Now we know that America also has many aircraft that, although excellent in design and suitable for use, they are grounded. We are already in contact with America to purchase some of these. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we are negotiating for the purchase of 2 or 3 cargo ships to carry across the ocean the various products purchased for our people in foreign countries. In fact, the first shipload of fish from the unpolluted waters around the South American country of Peru has already arrived in Mobile, Alabama. It carried with it some 1,000 metric tons of fish, or roughly 2,200,000 pounds. The second ship is already on its way. This one will carry 1,200 metric tons. And brothers and sisters, under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, this will continue each month for the next year, at least. The only difference being that the poundage will increase. So, brothers and sisters, this is some 59.4 acres of land, which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad will use for uplifting projects, like universities and hospitals. You know, Christians have hospitals all around us, but we must build our own.
I appeal to all Muslims and to all the members of the original Black nation in America to sacrifice at least 5 cents from each day's pay to create an economic savings program to help fight unemployment, abominable housing, hunger, and nakedness of the 22 million Black people here in America who continue to face problems. This would not interfere with the government's program for better housing conditions at all. It will only aid those who have never known anything in the way of help, and those who do not even know that there is a governmental housing act to help dependent people. There are thousands of our people living in worse conditions than dogs and pigs. At least dogs are not bothered with too many rats and roaches in their houses because they kill them to keep out the uncleanliness and filth which dominate and create bad housing conditions. We hope to set up a committee to teach and force our people to be clean. The Committee of Cleanliness. Oh, we need that. We already have such a committee in effect among the Muslims. It compels our people to clean our bodies as well as their houses. If you have only one suit of clothing, you should wash it and press it each night so that you can wear it the next day. If you are not able to have your hair trimmed at the barbershop, you should take turns and trim each other's hair. You must shave yourselves and look like men. And our women should clean up. You do not have to have a dozen dresses. Just keep the one you have clean and pressed. Until we enforce cleanliness among the people of our nation and get them into the spirit of self-respect and the spirit of making themselves the equal of other civilized nations of the earth, we will never be recognized as being fit members of any decent society of those nations. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Happy Monday. Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. I am Joseph Ward, and we're continuing our reading and review of Elijah Muhammad's message to the Black man in America. Starting off on the chapter Economic Program, which is page 192, and I read from page 192 to page 205 of Economic Program. And as you can see in the video that I have before this and the opening reading, we're talking about black economics, tying this back to our Powernomics book review, right? Black economic plans, because Elijah Muhammad has an economic plan, but Claude Anderson also gave us an economic plan. We could probably merge the plans. I'm just saying, one that we don't have to go like one plan is better than the other. We possibly could merge the plans, but we have to look at both plans, right? But the idea is we don't have to sit around and wait on somebody to give us what we need. We covered this last week, right? We talked about a situation. Well, the example was used, situation with Taraji P. Henson in Hollywood. She's crying about not getting what she feels that she's worth. So what's the solution to it? Well, do for self. Now, this is going more into an economic plan of helping us grow our economics, grow our economy. So Black America is not totally 100% dependent upon white America for everything that we need. We need to grow, produce, manufacture, build everything we need. We need to create it for ourselves, and we need to sell it to ourselves, and we need to circulate the money within our own Black economy. Matter of fact, a Black economy needs to be created. I see a lot of videos of people talking about, and this is tying back to Dr. Claude Anderson as well. I see a lot of videos of talking about the spending power that Black America has, or the power, or the money that Black America has, like as a collective. What, $2 to $3 trillion as a collective, but that's potential energy. Let's not get it twisted. They use the word spending power, but it's potential energy. And it's potential energy because, like Dr. Anderson said, it's not aggregated. If Black America's wealth was aggregated, yes, we could be a $3 trillion economy. But because we're not aggregated, we really don't have a Black American economy. We don't. We're Black people who are within a white economy. Now, when they take all of our money and they add it all together, they see, hey, this is what Black people could have. Key word, could have. This is what we could have if we chose to work together, if we chose to build our own economic base for ourselves, if we chose to support ourselves, if we chose to trust ourselves, if we chose to become codified, right? Because that's how a group is supposed to move. That's how people are supposed to move, to help empower themselves, to help make things better for themselves. We have to do it for self. Once again, nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's going to do it for us. So maybe we should take a look at these economic plans that are presented to us by our people. We keep what we can use and get rid of what we can't use, and then actually use the plans, put the plans into use. And as many people as possible, with full knowledge of understanding that everybody's not going to be a part of the economic plan, but as many people as possible participating and being honest. Integrity, character, values, or integrity and character, because values could vary, because some people could have messed up values, but we should be able to trust each other. And we're at a point where we don't trust each other because we've been taught to hate each other. But let's jump back into it. Let's get into this economic plan, and let's not just listen to this video. Let's learn and then use the information. All right. So picking up on page 193, the first paragraph, or the second paragraph. We have wasted too much money trying to be the equal of the millionaires of America, trying to be like white folk. Wasted too much money trying to be like white people. We're going broke trying to be like white people. We like sport and play, but we suffer the pains of hunger because of the millions of dollars lost paying notes for luxuries we could do without, such as fine automobiles, fine clothes, whiskey, beer, wine, cigarettes, tobacco, and drugs. Let the entire nation sacrifice for 3 years. So he's proposing a sacrifice for 3 years. So within these 3 years, confine ourselves to buy no more than 3 suits of clothing per year, never exceeding $65 in cost. Buy the minimum amount of shoes, never paying over $16 for a pair of shoes, as long as current prices for the above mentioned merchandise remain the same. Of course, factoring in inflation. Prices will go up over time, but whatever you're buying, it needs to be affordable because we need to live below our means, not above our means. Living below our means is keeping us poor. We should cut down on waste and high-priced food. Eat pure and wholesome food without being extravagant. Let us cut our extravagances. As soon as we have enough money in our banks to purchase land sufficient to feed 22 million Black people, we will build storage warehouses to store our supplies of the necessities of life for our people. I believe that if we make these sacrifices throughout the nation for 3 years, all of our nations are doing or have done, we will soon rid our people of poverty and want. Russia did it on a 5-year plan. Pakistan and other nations did it and are doing it today. We must sacrifice for 3 years. I will not ask you to try a 5-year plan. I'm afraid that you, with your short patience, will not agree. But try 3 years on an economic savings program to fight against poverty among our people here in America. I know you will become happier and more recognized people and have the spirit of independence, which is the glory of any nation. So he's proposing a 3-year economic plan where $1 a month, $1 a week, as much as you can, whatever's affordable to you, whatever's feasible, to donate this much a month to this, he wants you to donate the money to the temple, to Muhammad's temple number 2. So at the time, he wanted the money to be donated to Muhammad's temple number 2, which is in Chicago, Illinois. So like he's saying 25 cents a week, $1 a month, whatever you can send it to this pot. And this is going to grow over time because this is the central place that all of us are sending our money to. And this money is supposed to be grown to help us improve our place and our conditions in our economics, right? So going to page 194, he's saying a sound economic plan 1. So remember, we're talking about aggregating our money. See how the puzzle pieces come together? So we're talking about aggregating our money. So Dr. Claude Anderson gave us an outline of what we should do. Bam. So Elijah Muhammad said, all right, but this is how we're going to build the money to go ahead and aggregate it, right? So that's $1 a month. If you can't do $1 a month, and this is what he's proposing. If you can't do $1 a month, I don't know what to tell you. But let's do $1 a month so we can have this pot and then aggregate our money. But we have to be codified. Everything has to be under a code of conduct. And we have to operate under this code of conduct so we can ensure our success. Anything outside of the code of conduct will definitely be a lot more faulty, because what is holding the people to be true and to be honest, right? So a sound economic plan 1. We're in the midst of the so-called civil rights struggle, and ferment among the Black and oppressed reaches new heights. I shall list currently, but constructively, the guide and outline which must be followed if this Black nation of 22 million is ever to achieve true independence and equality. We shall begin with these 4 points. So these are 4 points that he said we should start with to be able to set a foundation for economic equality or economic independence. I say economic independence. We're not looking to be equal to anybody. We want to be independent of all and be able to be self-sufficient. We don't need to compare ourselves to anybody else. Fuck what everybody else doing. We don't need to be equal to them. We need to be independent, free, and safe. So number 1, our knowledge of self, others, and time should force us to become more prudent in our spending. Unnecessary spending by trying to keep pace with the wealthy of this country has done more to put us on the path of the prodigal son than anything else. Let us be taught how to spend and save by those of us who desire to see us out of poverty and want. Number 2, do not be too proud to meet together as leaders and teachers to discuss the solutions of how to stop the reckless downhill fall of our people. So we are meeting, but we're meeting with too much ego, no plan, no outcomes, and no actions, right? Number 3, not one so-called Negro leader seems to want to meet to want a meeting with Elijah Muhammad to discuss the plight of our poor people in America. Number 4, I have set before you a program according to the divine supreme being and his prophets. You have neither produced a better program or anything equal to it. Your present plans are involved in one of the most disgraceful programs, especially you who boast that you are free and want freedom. Justice and equality with your slave masters by sitting, standing, and begging to be accepted as the brothers of those who for 400 years have brought you into the present condition and have made you a people unwanted by the civilized nations of the earth. No one wants foolish people who love everyone but themselves and their own kind, who would rather beg than go for self, or even ask the slave masters to help them go for self. Such people, numbering into the millions, are on the road to destruction if their downhill speed is not checked by Allah and his messenger. So he's right. No other nation, no other groups of people have a need to respect us because we haven't given them anything to respect. We cannot guilt people into respect. We cannot guilt ourselves into freedom. We cannot guilt ourselves into equality. We talked about that ad nauseum. I'm saying that because I'm thinking about this show on Netflix. I can't think of the name of it. Oh man, it messed me up. It pissed me off because black people on that acting stupid. But part of that was trying to guilt our way into power, and that's just not how it works. But respect is earned. Respect is earned. I don't care who you are, where you are, how old you are, how young you are, how smart you think you are, how dumb you think you are, how much money you have, how much money you don't have. Respect is earned. Nobody just gives respect. It's earned. And if you don't understand that, that might be the reason why you don't have it. So, how to make an economic program successful? It is very hard for an economist to plan a wise program and see his plans carried out because the so-called American Negroes' economics are controlled by the white man. The white man owns the country and the industry. He is manufacturer and producer of everything. Now it is difficult to plan an economic program for dependent people who for all their lives have tried to live like the white man. We don't want an economic plan because we want white people to continue to take care of us. Oh, damn, I said it. Who said that? I said it. We don't want to follow an economic plan because it's easier to just try to guilt white people into giving us what we feel like we need. We need to get out of our feelings. Our feelings aren't helping. Don't fall for the liberal stuff. Don't fall for the liberal rhetoric. Don't fall for the conservative rhetoric. If it's not something that we haven't produced ourselves, we shouldn't even be a part of it. Don't worry about what the left is saying. Don't worry about what the right is saying. Neither side fuck with us. Neither side mess with us. They don't. We are on our own. And if we don't understand that, it's already over. We have to, like anything else in life, we have to get it out the mud. Yes, our freedom and respect. Yes, we have to get it out the mud. Why would somebody else build what we need for ourselves to make us put us in a better position than they would be? They're already in a better position than us, and then they're going to build something for us to put us in a better position. No, we got to do it for ourselves. I tell you what. Let's experiment. You, for the next 6 months, don't do anything constructive for yourself. Just sit around and expect everything and other people to do it for you and see how your life turns out. The first step the so-called Negro wage earners should take is to spend only when necessary and according to their income. They should save as much of their salaries as possible, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. We, as wage earners, should always plan to save something from whenever we are paid. Do not become extravagant spenders like the rich who own the country and everything in it. It is sheer ignorance for us to try to compete in luxury with the owners, of course, because we can't. If we can save just 5 cents a day from our wages, 25 cents a week, $1 a month, that would mean $13 a year we could save in the National Savings Bank. We number around 22 million and approximately 5 million are wage earners. If 5 million wage earners save $13 a year, this would mean $65 million saved. This would mean $65 million saved out of our wages at the rate of 25 cents per week. It would be painless, but the so-called Negroes do not have that in a national bank. So let us see how much money we spend unnecessarily. Suppose we spent the same amount, 25 cents a week in tobacco, cigarettes, cigars, chewing, and snuff dipping. But of course, you will spend far more than that. Some people spend 25 cents per day for cigarettes alone. Let us say we spent the same amount, 25 cents a week on beer. Again, the actual amount would be more. This means 65 million a year spent for beer and the same spent for whiskey, wine, cigarettes, and cigars. We also spend unnecessarily on sports. You average the same on sports, 65 million. Another 65 million is spent in gambling, averaging 5 cents a day, 25 cents a week. This is just the minimum. If 5 million wage earners save just $47 per year, they could have saved $235 million a year. And this figure would be far greater if we included extravagant buying of clothes, furniture, and cars, eating the hog, the divinely forbidden flesh, which keeps us filled with arthritis, rheumatism, high blood pressure, and fever, and makes unnecessary doctor and drug bills. All of this wasteful spending should be checked. And you will see within a 1 year period that you have not saved $1 billion, but several billion dollars. So getting us into the mindset, getting us to think about how we spend our money. What are you spending your money on? I know what I'm spending my money on. I know what I need to cut back on. I know what I've adjusted my budget and work to cut back on. And I'm not saying that like I'm saying I'm perfect, because I need to adjust my spending as well. We are in this together. But what I am saying is I have recognized my shortcomings and have made the plans, put stuff in place to make sure I can adjust my spending so I can increase my saving and and make sure my future is brighter. What I will not be is poor, broke, or dependent on others when I'm old. I will be a multi-millionaire because I am going to save and invest my way into being a multi-millionaire. So, but it's the mindset though. But it's not just an individual mindset that we're talking about here. It's a group mindset. We all have to think the same way. How do you look at economics? If you're the person who, as soon as you get money, you have to spend it, you're a part of the problem. You're the part of the problem for yourself, and you're a part of the problem for Black America as a whole. If you are talking about us building up the economy for ourselves, or you're talking about us uniting, or you're talking about us being better, you yourself have to be a part of the us being better. You do not get a pass to be an asshole. You do not get a pass to just do what you want to do. You do not get a pass to just say, well, it's everybody else. It ain't me. No, you do not get a pass. You got to put in the work as well. And I'm saying that to me too. I got to put in the work as well. Just as much as you got to put in the work, I have to put in the work. If not, shut up. Stop talking. You ain't doing it but wasting people's air, time, money, and energy. Shut up. We don't need to hear from you. Who cares how you feel? You're not going to do nothing about it. So shut up. The economical way to use the money you save is first to buy farmland and produce your own food. You can raise enough cattle, sheep, cows, and chickens by the thousands if you try following our program. We could cut down on our clothing bills, some of us by about 30%, and yet be well dressed. Again, this is the way we could build a national savings bank from deposits for ourselves and invest our money in the purchase of necessary things for our nation. Then you could cut down your present high cost of living. Purchase real estate Buy farm and timberland. Convert the timber onto lumber and build homes for yourselves as the white man is doing. Of course, he will have the authority over whether or not to sell the land to you. Get clay land with marsh clay land and hill clay, and you can make your own bricks. Bricks are inexpensive to make once you get your kiln together. Build and track lands. The greatest expense would be coal or gas to fire your bricks. Build brick homes for your own people and sell them to your people at a very reasonable price. Try and save your people from unnecessary high price buying. Take your own cotton to the mills and have it converted into lint, and take the lint to textile mills and have it converted into cloth. You are very smart. You have technicians among us who are about as smart as they come. Why shouldn't we get together and produce something for ourselves? I mean, he's laying it out. He's laying it out. Thinking outside the box. We have to be honest with ourselves too. We believe that we are moving forward as a people because of technology, but we're actually moving back. Technology isn't moving us forward. It's moving forward the people who created it, the people who benefit from it, the people who own it. We didn't create it. We don't benefit from it, and we don't own it, and we don't produce anything. We get to utilize the technology. And we can have some benefits, but we don't have the greatest benefits. But what he's talking about is how to get the greatest benefit. The only way to get the greatest benefit is you got to put your money up and you got to produce it yourself. I saw a clip from the Club Shay Shay interview with Country Wayne, and Country Wayne was talking about how he finances all that he does, and that's how he's able to get a great return. You have to build it for yourself. We have to build it for ourselves. We have to create this for ourselves. That's how we get the greatest returns. That's how we get the greatest production from it all. Creating for ourselves. Stop being lazy. Stop being content with white people having control over all our lives, all aspects of our lives. We're cool with that as long as we can be comfortable. As long as we can make some money and feel like we're free and feel like we're happy, we're cool with that. That shit's stupid. We got to get better. Do for self, produce for self. We need to build our own homes. We need to produce our own food. We need to make our own clothes, our own cars, our own technology, everything we could be doing for self. We just choose not to. Because remember, this message was given over 50 years ago. And it still rang true today. It's raining even more. It's raining even more true today. Even more true today than it did 50 years ago. That's crazy. This message is even more true today than when this book was actually published. That's crazy. We've gotten worse. As I wrote previously, it is difficult to plan an economic system for a people who are subjected to the whim of another people. Let me read that again. As I wrote previously, it is difficult to plan an economic system for people who are subjected to the whim of another people. You are limited in your job, salaries, and incomes by the white man, but you still learn not to be reckless and wasteful, spenders, and happy-go-lucky people with nothing of your own. We spend, travel, spend, travel. And you know why we do it? Because white people do it. We want to be like white people. That's how we get to feel like we're fulfilled in life. That's how we get to feel like we're successful. We've done something in life. You're not fulfilled until you live like a white person. We got to get our mind right, man. Every sport the white man with bulging banks of money enjoys, you try to imitate him. Take what he gives you and learn to save some of it. The hardest times are before those of you who will not accept this program and follow the way of Allah and Islam, guide you and set you up in heaven at once with money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. Begging and praying to the white man to accept you and give you the things he is giving himself and his kind is really out of place today. It is really insane. The white man claims he has given you freedom. He feels that he is not responsible for your poverty since you have had 100 years of your own. And we know that ain't true, but that's how he feels. But they are in power, so they get to feel how they want to feel because they in power. He believes that if you do not like him, you should have left him. And if you do not like him today, you should leave him. You do not want to leave him because you have a great desire for his wealth. You do not want to leave the white man because you have a great desire for his wealth. This classified you as being lazy. And people who do not want to accept their own responsibility, think it over, my friends. We could save money by walking instead of riding in luxury. If we can purchase an automobile, we should not try to get the most luxurious model unless it is within our means. And if it's not within our means, then damn it, you don't need the Mercedes. You don't need the Audi. You don't need the Acura. The Acura. You don't need the Volvo. You don't need the BMW. Because we all know black folks, especially HBCU black folks. You know, I'm an HBCU product. So HBCU black folk and snobby, hobnobbing black folk. I have to have my Mercedes. I have to have my BMW. Because if not, then the white people would not see me as one of them. They don't. They don't like you. They don't like you. You're just another cog in the wheel. You're just a high-functioning laborer. Beware of the national elections, my black brothers and sisters. There's no salvation in them for you, only false promises. The only salvation for you and me now is in unity, in being under the guidance of Allah through his messenger and his program for us all. Do not follow those self-made letters who are seeking only the praise of the people who have no good in mind for you and will lead you back into becoming more of a slave than ever. Our problem is to be solved by a divine solution given to Allah's messenger. And actually, I'll tweet that. Our problem is to be solved by becoming unified in the code of conduct and doing for self. That, my friends, that, my friend, will help to solve our problems. But you know, there has to be will in that. Something called will. And I ain't talking about Will Smith. I'm talking about the will to do for self. I am asking that we sacrifice for the next 3 years. And when we get enough in our bank, we will put it to work to make more money. We do not mean to let it lie idly for 3 years. We could invest in anything to help the nation improve our economic condition. Heretofore, our distrust in each other has kept us down. Message: we have to trust each other as other nations trust each other in order to do something constructive for the original black people of this country. We would like to raise at least $500 million in the next 3 years. If all would contribute willingly and honestly all that they could to the economic plan, we would soon have billions and enough money to have something for ourselves other than begging at the gate, door, and floor on the white man's business places for that which we, if united, could get for ourselves. And remember, we're talking about aggregated wealth, aggregated power, not potential. The aggregation of it, not the potential if we aggregate it. I am sure that the white people would have more respect for us after giving us a job and salary if we would try saving some of that salary to help ourselves in that which we could do for ourselves. If they give us jobs and pay us living wages, we should do more for ourselves than what we are doing with high wages and salaries that we are receiving today. If the wages were rightly distributed, they would prevent our begging of food and shelter, not necessarily because we still have to check the way we spend. Our mindset still has to change. If we made more money, we would do nothing more than give the white man more money. No nation will ever respect us as long as we beg for that which we can do for ourselves. There has never been a leader of our people who went all out to set up an economic plan for our people. I use the saying of Jesus, all before me were thieves and robbers. That's how he feels about nobody setting out an economic plan, right? There are millions of your dollars laying in the white man's banks doing nothing for anyone. Put these millions of dollars to work buying farmland, since this is the basis of independence. Raise cotton, corn, wheat, rye, rice, chicken, cattle, and sheep. The sheep will clothe us with its wool and feed us with its flesh. The cow would also serve as food for us, as well as his hide being used to make shoes, belts, jackets, coats, and hats. The cotton could be woven into cloth. Remember how Remember how America once had to spin its yarn to make clothes by a spinning wheel? Today, if you have the money, you can buy machines which will weave and print thousands of yards of cotton goods per day. Do you say you cannot do that? The white man is not preventing you from doing these things. The white man is not preventing us from doing these things. He has many textile mills. He will help you even weave your clothes at his own mills for a price. We can cobble our own shoes. The white man will sell us the machines. In fact, he will sell us almost anything to help us manufacture what we need. However, you must first go to the farms, till the earth, and produce your own food. Build the stores and warehouses to preserve your food throughout the seasons. We just are not trying to do anything for self. As I've repeated until my throat is dry, one day America will not be able to carry the entire nation of 22 million black people on her back. And that time is now. Do for self or die off, black people. Like he said, we just don't give a damn to do it. We care not to do it. We care to complain about it. We always complaining about how the white man is doing this. The white man is doing that. The white man is treating us bad. Oh no, how could white people do this? Well, you gave him all the ammunition that he need. We put ourselves in a position to be slaves and dependent with no power. But the white man should like us because we want them to. Oh, bother. If our forefathers had the power of life to speak from their graves, they would condemn you for wasting your time and life after being freed and not availing yourself of this freedom. God damn. Let me read that again. If our forefathers had the power of life to speak from their graves, they would condemn you for wasting your time and life after being freed and not availing yourself to this freedom. They were forced into slavery against their will, but you are now forcing yourself to remain in slavery by trying to force the white man to allow you to remain with him and provide for you as he has always done. With your weak ass. Our weak asses. That's some weak ass shit. You must admit that white America envies the success and prosperity coming to us, especially the poor devils in the South. This is why they will not give us an equal chance with them in that which will bring us progress and success. Since that is true, I'm appealing to you to seek separation from such people on some of this earth that we can call our own, away from a people who openly show you and tell you that they hate you and anything about you. But nah, not us. We're persistent because the white man will love us. We're going to show them we're going to be the best blackity black folk that we can be so the white man can love us. It ain't worked yet. Who's the dummies? We're the dummies. Nigga, wake up. Nigga, wake up. The nigga must die for the black person in you to wake up. For that African in you to wake up. That true ancestral energy in you to wake up. You must kill the nigga mentality. Until we kill that nigga mentality, we will remain slaves. But to be successful, we must have some of this earth to produce our people's needs. For example, in Chicago, Illinois, as well as other communities throughout the country, the black man is robbed through giant cut rate stores owned exclusively by white men who make it almost impossible for independent stores owned by black people to survive. We cannot compete in business unless we unite and get some of this earth so that we can produce our own people's needs. It is the right time that we seek separation and independence for our nation from the evils of our open enemies and not the foolish things other organizations are doing. They want our people integrated into our open enemies to be destroyed as a people. They seek that recognition, which demands better qualifications, education, the knowledge of self, and other manners, but the self-respect and the respect of others. Self-respect, self-love, a positive self-image. We don't see ourselves we don't see ourselves in a good light. We don't see ourselves in a positive light. We don't talk about ourselves in a positive light. It's almost like we believe we should not be better or have better or live better. But another problem is we think anything that is better is equal to white. And that is our biggest problem, that we think better is equal to white, and it's not. Better is independent of white. Because look at where white has gotten us. So us doing better is independent of white people, building ourselves up to become a powerful, independent people. So that concludes my reading for this chapter, economic program. And once again, economic program goes from 192 to 205. Next video, we're picking back up the persecution of the righteous, page 206 to 219. So persecution of the righteous is next week's video, page 206 to 219. Remember, 192 to 205 economic program. If we don't get on code, we don't get a plan, we don't get our stuff together, it's going to be over a lot faster than it's predicted. They predicted 2050, but some people are saying 2035. Some people are saying even before that. So the choice is ours and ours alone. We can continue to behave, think, and operate like niggas and get nigga outcomes. Or we can change our programming, change our conditions, employ these plans, use these plans, and better ourselves and better our lives. The choice is ours. But all I have to say is, whatever choice we make, I don't want to hear no goddamn complaining about it. Joseph Ward, I love you all. Make sure y'all catch the next video coming up.